Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Um, I don't have an intro planned, so it's been a while since I've uploaded anything at all. Look, some stuff happened. I was doing some stuff, got a job. So that's cool. Again, just some like personal stuff in my life. But rest assured, I've been working. I've been working long and hard, man. I've got maybe like over an hour at this point of like an actual main channel upload. If you don't follow my main channel, by the way, link in the description. I've been hard at work, shall we say. But that's not why you guys are here, is it? You're probably wondering, actually, what could possibly have brought Ash back to the interwebs? And well, it's the new Model Actriz album, y'all. Look, words fail me when I talk about this band to anybody, honestly, which is honestly pretty frustrating considering the fact that I feel like you need to say a lot about this band before you begin to even really engage with them fully, because everything here is so layered, so dense when it comes to this band, to the point that it's like trying to like untangle a web of chords. And trust me, I'm not even coming close to trying when it comes to this shit. Poop. So naturally, that makes my job here in this video pretty difficult when it comes to reviewing an album from the band I like. But also, let me take you back to the most recent album review I did, and also technically my first album review on this channel. That was, of course, the one with Ethel Cain, Perverts. That was a great record, and my first experience when I heard that album was like me waking up in the morning, realizing, oh, maybe I should check this out after all, and then checking it out and then being instantaneously compelled to make a video about it that morning. This album, though it came out today, as of the time of recording anyway, though it came out today, I knew I was going to have to make a video about this specific album the moment that it was announced. You see, their previous record called Dog's Body, right? That album blew me away. It is no doubt one of, if not my favorite album that came out the year that it did. It might have been the same year as that Sprain album that came out. If so, maybe that one took first place. I don't even fully remember or care, honestly. But Dog's Body was such a big project in my own listening habits. It was groovy, intense, brutalist, and for a lot of those reasons also stood out to me personally when it comes to anything at all. Can you tell these videos aren't scripted? And also, this album, Dog's Body, ended up being pretty foundational for me as well, considering that I am a part of LGBTQ communities. So I kind of want to take this record in kind of a couple steps here, considering my interactions with it, basically following it from its announcement to its release, my first time doing so with this band specifically. And I kind of want to outline kind of my thoughts, my opinions. So if you just want to skip to my like overall opinions of the record, do so at this timestamp right here. Do it here. But I also want to stress that like the lead up, the announcement, everything along that front was also very foundational in shaping the scope of this record and kind of how I have gone on to perceive it upon its actual release. Upon its actual release. This album was actually announced like months before it actually came out, which I get it, it's standard. But I hate waiting for shit, dude. I hate it. Which is funny because I notoriously make everybody wait for everything I do musically ever. I put out a single almost 1 year ago for an album that I still haven't finished. Any day now. So point is, even though I make people wait for things, it's out of this like mentality of, oh, I want to share this thing because I think it's cool and I want everybody to hear it and listen to it. You know, on some like eager McBeaver type shit. In reality, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I like just having things like shadow dropped. I just want things out. If it's done, just put it out, man. I don't care. You can promo the album once we can actually listen to the thing. You aren't Nintendo, dog. You aren't Nintendo. You aren't GTA 6, bro. What the fuck? On that same day that the album was announced, though, the first single called Cinderella dropped. And fuck, dude. This song, man, I don't know what to say. Everything about this song aesthetically just works so perfectly for me. The hook is so good. The atmosphere, the tone, the soundscape of it all. Everything just feels warped and distorted in this very tense kind of way. If I had to like compare the emotions of this song, and honestly this album as a whole, it would be like fucking Mad God. Just these like grotesque things that are also, though very grotesque, also kind of beautiful in its own strange, fucked up, just real fucked up kind of way. And I love that. I love that so much. I'm just now noticing I forgot to change my belt. This is gold, but I'm wearing like a silver type of necklace kind of a thing. Now I'm mixing metals and everyone's gonna see that and yell at me. Sorry. That song came out and then there was like nothing forever, and I was upset too because we also got a tour announcement. We got a tour announcement and there was no Chicago date. No Chicago date. I wasn't gonna be able to make this tour. I was depressed as hell. And then out of nowhere, they announced that they were headlining a free festival, a free music festival in Chicago at Thalia Hall, my favorite venue in Chicago. And I can just go there and it's in like 2 days? So I went there. And this was important too, going into my overall listening to this album earlier this morning, because of the fact that like this is my first exposure to the music on this record. So this would be my first exposure to this music. And I usually struggle with that whenever I go and see a band and they're performing primarily new music. Usually I'm taken aback by that because I don't know the songs and I want to know the songs so that way I can fully enjoy myself to the song instead of just like sitting down and being like, oh wow, those are some nice arpeggiated synths. Write that down, write that down. You know, on like a first listen, it's kind of hard for me to be able to break that like critical, oh, I'm experiencing this for the first time, let me be self-aware in my brain about it, instead of like having known the songs and then I can just enjoy myself to the song live because I've already heard it. But I still made the decision to end up going anyway because everybody at this festival at Thalia Hall was so good. And though it was linked up to a couple other venues in the area, I just stayed at the Thalia Hall show from open to close. It was, again, a free show. They were doing it to ramp up money for, I believe it was a food bank. And by the way, I got the first donation in at that show. I'm such a good person, dude. So yeah, I went there just because that set list, that band list was so stacked. Phantasma Negra, they're like this great little band, this goth rock band that exists here in Chicago, super small, like a couple hundred monthly listeners that are so worth your time. Please check them out. Old Coke is this great like post-hardcore shoegaze kind of thing. Very weird, very strange. You had Bugsy, you had Blood Club, and then Model Actriz as well. Again, all of these bands so fucking good. All of them were amazing to see live. I genuinely cannot stress that enough. So I show up like a couple hours early for this festival and I meet some very, very kind, sweet people who were just the coolest. One of them actually plays in this one like shoegaze kind of band called Yellowfin, and I checked them out. They're incredible. Also a very small local band. So if you want to get in that shit, please hit them up. Again, that's Yellowfin. So listen to that. I'll link all of these bands in the description of this video because I want you guys to check this stuff out. So I get there, I secure a barricade and whatnot. Let me tell you, the vibes in here were just immaculate. All of these bands, like I said, they were incredible. That like first local Chicago goth band I was talking about, just, oh my God, man. Okay, goth music needs reverb. If it doesn't have like the perfect kind of reverb, you'll know it once you hear it. But if it doesn't have that like perfect reverby tinge to it, it doesn't work in as well of a way as it could. And they've got that. They've got that. And it just brings everything together. Oh, man. And the vibes of this room and the people there, the person behind me was wearing a fucking Uboa shirt. Where else are you gonna see someone wearing a Uboa shirt? Like, what? Dude, that's sick. The drummer for Old Coke. Oh my god, dude. Just what a fucking band. Such like this unique atmosphere. Everything was like shrouded in these like dark colored lights and smoke and shit. It was the coolest. I haven't really felt that kind of a overall atmosphere to everything since like I saw Death Heaven Tour Sunbather. Bugsy is this great pop punk kind of a thing. I love them so much. Blood Club feels very The Cure inspired. Again, very like some dark gothic vampiric bullshit. And Model, freaking Actriz, bro. Finally, the point of the video. Let's go. I've never seen a band be able to control a crowd in the way that this band was able to. And like the only artist that I think is even comparable would be like Lingua Ignota when I saw her tour her like last show in Chicago, also at Thalia Hall actually. When she was performing her album Caligula, for example, she had like this one light that she was flailing around in the center of the crowd. She never touched the stage once throughout that night, and she was just flailing this thing around, and it was like a judgment had come for us all. Similarly, Model Actriz, when they were on this thing, there was just this weight, this oppressive force that felt like, man, I'm trying, words fail me, dog. It was like if someone took the same kind of club that you would hear like Brat Charlie XCX at and turned everyone in the room into vampires. Like that was the tone of it all. That was the atmosphere, and it was like pummeling, dude. And that's really kind of the point here, is like the atmosphere of all of these songs that I hadn't heard up until that point was so strong, such a strong tone to it all, that I, again, being someone who can't really turn off that like critical brain the first time that I'm listening to something, that was like broken down like a fucking dam. There was just something about it that just clicked for me instantaneously, and I didn't need to like be into like mental overdrive just to enjoy myself. It was just this absolute blast. After like the show ended and whatever, I ended up walking out trying to get back to my car, and like with a lot of these local kind of shows or like smaller kind of shows, you can usually tend to like meet artists and things like that after. I've never been lucky enough to have that experience because I think I just like get to my car too early or something. So like this was the first time I was really like, oh wait, someone from the band is like outside talking to people. And so I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna go like say hi really quick. And so I'm like instantly trying to rehearse every single possible interaction that could happen here. And eventually I decide on like, yo, hey man, I just want to say like, your stuff rules. Thank you so much for like doing this because it like means a lot or whatever. I rock with this shit. Thank you, man. That was the idea. Those were the exact words. If I deviated from those words in any possible way, I would die. And so I get out there, and again, it's like the singer who's there. It's like kind of a pseudo line that's forming or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like say hi really quick, and that'll be that. And I've got this exact interaction, and it's gonna be no more and no less. And then someone comes in front of me, and then another person comes in front of me. And keep in mind, I'm wearing a mask because I just think that that's kind of like a common courtesy thing at shows. I like wearing masks. I wasn't sick at the time or anything like that, so keep that in mind. I'm wearing this mask and I'm just waiting. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm getting in my head about everything. And before long, I'm leaning up against a telephone pole, and I'm just like, I'm such a bitch, dude. I'm not sure if you guys have seen like Adventure Time or anything like that, but it's quite literally that bit where it's fucking Peppermint Butler trying to get the autograph from the Vampire King or whatever the fuck.
Say something! Ask him to sign the book! Do it! He's getting away!
That was the tone, right? Slightly embarrassing and potentially, now that I think about it, maybe even a little bit creepy. Kind of like embarrassing moments aside, right? I go to my car, and then it hits me that I'm gonna have to wait probably another 3 months before I can listen to this record again. And suddenly, everything makes a little less sense than it did before. Ever since then, every last single that's come out for this record, I've been clinging on to with my dear life. I've needed this thing to come out because I just wanted to see how this would translate into like an actual tangible record, and just wow, man. Wow. With a record like that Ethel Cain one, right? It was hard to go track by track and really pick apart everything about the record that made it good without just talking about like the overall record itself, because like all of those songs feel so connected, like you're listening to one grandiose piece of music. This one is a bunch of songs that just so happen to also work together. Tracks like Vespers, man. I listened to that shit, that like opener, and it feels like, okay, I've been like getting into like WWE stuff recently. If I had to pick like an entrance music for myself, if by some obscure, obscene force of nature I ended up in the WWE, this would be my pick for a song to like enter to. Cinderella, like we've already talked about, is fucking fantastic. Poppy, dude, this one's funny to me because it like almost sonically, with the vocals anyway, sounds like an old Fall Out Boy song. It's a strange one, but in terms of the instrumentation, it's like this supernova of sound. It feels almost comparable to like Dream Crusher's Incinerator. It feels like just this like techno hell. Really don't know how else to describe it, but it's just insane. Diva is probably my favorite of the 3 singles that came out. It's got this very clubby sound to it all. Just dense, brutalist, very, very, very intricate. Headlights is a very interesting interlude in the record. It almost kind of reminds me of Who'll Fall by Coil, which if you don't know that band or that song, it's a rough song to listen to, made even worse with the power of hindsight. Let me put this into perspective, right? I've been working on a Disturbing Songs iceberg that's just been in the works for years, right? And I've known about that song, and that song, in my view, is too disturbing of a song to put on that iceberg. Like, I don't want to talk about it. It's that intensive. And though this song is nowhere near as intensive as that one, Headlights, I'm speaking on anyway, it still leaves like this huge, very dour impression because it feels so distinctly personal, so distinctly real, that you kind of become almost like a voyeur into this person's life that's just kind of like uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable, very uneasy, but in a way that's also very clearly intentional, and I really kind of respect that. And I think it works great for the record overall because it lends such a huge sense of power to every single song that comes after and every single song that comes before upon re-listening to it. It's this like added context to this very deep, dense, lyrical insanity that you get on a lot of these Model Actress songs that just like bolsters it up with this huge emotional sense of credence to it. Acid Rain feels like a Radiohead song in all the best ways possible. It also almost feels something kind of akin to like what Sohira would do, maybe. Departures is another really interesting song on this record because it kind of mimics a lot of the qualities of the intro track, almost turning this thing into a sort of reprise at the very start before eventually evolving into its own distinct entity. It's this very cool way of kind of invoking this sense of almost deja vu that just gives this record overall such a huge additional layer to everything that you're listening to. From here, the next 2 songs, Audience and Ring Road, oh my god. Let's start with Audience, right? This song is a very brutalist song. It's by far one of the most industrial songs on this record, but in a way that doesn't really sacrifice its like accessibility or anything like that. It's just loud. It's very loud, and I love that. It's like just being seared alive in like an oven. Again, very akin to like Dream Crusher with Incinerator. But even that song does not even remotely hold up to the sheer chaos of Ring Road. This song feels like anxiety incarnate. The only song that I'd say maybe feels a bit more anxious would be like Please Don't Leave Me by Uboa, and that song gave me sleep paralysis. Not a bit. I actually got sleep paralysis from that song. This one's a runner-up, right? This one comes very close in second. You're like hit right off the bat with these like very psycho kind of oh my god, dude. And then the actual production of everything kicks in and it's just deep fried to hell. There are no words, man. There are no words here. This song, unlike Audience, does, in my opinion, sacrifice its accessibility for its extremity, but I rock with it though. I understand if you don't rock with it as a music fan yourself. I get it. This song is not for everyone, but for me, oh boy, this does something. Oh man. Maybe I'll have sleep paralysis to this song. I'll keep you guys updated and let you know in the future. From here, we have the song Doves, which was the second single for this record of 3, and honestly is my least favorite song on the album. And it's not for like any fault of the song itself. I think it's still very dense, very layered, and like is a very unique standout from the track list overall. But there's something about the like vocal runs on this song that feel like a Christmas carol. I don't know why. It's like every single time I hear this song, it's reminding me of a Christmas carol. And I don't mean just like generally. I mean, there's a specific one that is like constantly on the tip of my tongue whenever I hear this song, and I can't think of it, but it sounds like a fucking Christmas carol. Am I crazy for that? Am I going fucking insane? Am I dead? Am I dying? Have I been shot in the head with a gun? I don't know what's happening here. Let me know in the comments below. And then we have the final track, Baton, which is probably the slowest track on the record outside of the interlude, and it's beautiful, man. Model Actriz is a really interesting band because while they're heavier, more intensive dance, electronic, post-punk whatevers are their most prevalent thing, it's these slower moments on the track list on any of their projects that really become the biggest standouts of the track list. You feel the emotional weight of that because of the fact that you sat through this onslaught of this punk dance chaos, and it strips everything back and it just becomes this very intense, intimate, personal thing that really sticks with you more than what the band is really trying to do.
Hello? Look! Hey! Listen!
And I love the fact that this band can do that. I love the fact that they can change up their sound so much and so frequently while still keeping that like initial edge of their genre. Overall, though, I wish I honestly had more time to sit with this record before I made this video. I just won't have time between work and other things I'm trying to do for all of this nonsense. Big things coming, by the way. I just didn't have time to, and so with the information that I have gathered here, damn, this is a good record. I'm not sure how much this is going to emotionally impact me in the same way that their first record did, because obviously it's been 6 hours since it's been out for me, but I'm genuinely kind of speechless. Despite the runtime of this video, I'm speechless.